On the day after her birthday, we broke up. I didn't find out till a little over a year later that it was the worst mistake I had made in my lifetime, and so I had made plenty of terrible mistakes. Until now, things didn't feel like we were a family, even though our son had adjusted and turned one back in July. Also, the bedroom was very dry. The day started well as the sun was shining, and I had plans to take my beautiful family and meet my friends to go to another friend's baby shower. This was the first time some of my old high school friends would see my handsome son and his gorgeous mother. Still, as I was getting ready, Arya told me she did not feel like the party because she had a headache and felt sick. I was immensely bummed out, but I tried not to show it and told her with my comforting voice that it was okay and she and the baby could rest for the day. I ended up riding with my best friend and his family, which made me jealous that he got to show off his wife and daughter while I showed up all alone. Don't get me wrong, I was surrounded by friends, it's just that I was really looking forward to showing how much I loved my family. Sitting at the party, I just couldn't stop thinking about my family. After all the games and a piece of cake, we said our goodbyes and left. We talked about going to the clubs since it was a Saturday, and I needed a pick-me-up, so I was all for it. Once I got home, I was just getting ready to go out since this was around 8 p.m. We were going to a bigger city about 45 minutes away, so we liked to leave early to skip the lines. I found out that Arya took our son to her sister's house and played at the park with her family. When she got home, she was confused about why I was dressed to go out. After she showered, we got into the most important argument I ever had in my life. It pains me to talk about, even now 2 years later. But, I'm not gonna play the victim. I wanted to hurt her because she wounded me when she blew me and my event off so she could do something else with her family. She rightly complained it was her birthday weekend. I didn't even consider inviting her, but that's not true. I wanted to ask her, but she was sick all day, so I thought she would be too ill to go party. It was a petty way of thinking, and I will regret how I handled that moment for the rest of my life. She ended up telling me she was done. She's gonna move out if I went. I didn't know it then, but as she sat there refusing to look at me, she contemplated all the wrong stuff I had done to her and added it all up. She added that night to the list because I went anyways. I didn't think she would actually do it, and even if she did, maybe some space would be good for us since I wasn't feeling the love from her anyways. Looking back, everything terrible that had happened since was my fault. And I could have stopped it if I was to man up, quit being petty, and worked it out with her. This was the pinnacle moment that sent my life into a downward spiral. She moved out. And it hurt. But I thought it was for the best, and of course, I was wrong. A month went by, and we remained in touch since we had to exchange our son between our job schedules. I focused on myself and didn't concern myself with whatever she was up to, but it destroyed me when I found out what she was up to. She treated me as a friend, while I saw her as more than a friend but not in a relationship. She was very strict about not being friends with benefits, though, and it was hard for me to accept this. Still, I played along as I thought I knew her well enough to know she wasn't capable of doing that. Whoever she had slept with in her past, she was in a relationship with them. Only a few had gotten lucky with her. Even though she had many, and I mean many, boyfriends before high school. So that was the one thing I counted on to not stress about losing her. I started reaching out in January 2022 to her. I remember the first time I had taken her and my son out as a family for breakfast for some okay Mexican food near my home. Overall it was a success, or so I thought. We were both happy to see each other, and our 1-year-old son Judah was joyful to be together again. Things felt right, and I told her we should do it more often to spend more time with each other for the baby. We continued to see each other until February came and punched me in the gut. We went shopping out of town and opened up about what we had been doing in the last few months, and she told me she had been sleeping with a guy she works with. It stung, but I kept my cool as best I could to get more information from her. All she told me was it happened a couple of times, and she was catching feelings until rumors started that he was sleeping with another coworker, and then she stopped talking to him. Also, I asked if she used protection, and she lied and told me she did. I always gave her the benefit of the doubt and believed that her word was her bond, and I had always trusted her, but this was the start of me questioning her honestly. Again, it was a hard hit since I thought I knew her. Not only that, but I found out they had been working together for many months before our breakup. As far as I know, they were probably flirting and talking well before we broke up. Not to mention, I also found out that she slept with this loser a month after our breakup and almost caught feelings. It all happened too fast, but I was relieved she told me it was over, and since we weren't together then, I shouldn't concern myself with it. Knowing she moved on so quickly confirmed my fears and started my devotion to making her mine again. Besides switching to part-time and spending most if not all of my money, time, and taxes trying to impress her, things looked good for us, or so I thought. On March 27, we three were cuddling and hanging out, but she left the room to talk to her family but left her phone, so I got curious. The password was the exact 90,398, and I went through her message to find out that she told her best friend she was 3 days late for her period, and the last guy slept with was the guy she told me about. I was hurt, but I kept digging. I found their Snapchat conversation and the address saved. The first was her home address, which was sent on November 6th. The other addresses weren't familiar, so they were get-togethers or parties. There were a few texts sent recently yesterday. However, only about her asking him if he works. I confronted her about texting him still even though he was an and did her wrong. Still, she shrugged it off and told me she was just looking for a cover to take her shift. Little by little, I stopped seeing the girl I fell in love with and saw only a liar. Still, for some reason, I couldn't stop reaching for that cute shy new girl I first met at school, the one who took a chance to go to lunch with me and taught me what love is. I remained ignorant and felt we were progressing well toward rebuilding the family I desperately wanted. Then a few good months had passed. Until I got my heart ripped out of my chest and left me bleeding on the floor.